In this video we're going to continue with the valve gear. We're going to make the forward and backwards eccentric rods. The LBSC drawing gives some details, and as mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to follow the recommendations of Mr. L.A. Saxby and modify the eccentric rods in accordance with his recommendation. I'm going to make them from 316 stainless steel, and I've cut some plate on the bandsaw, and I've also done a card drawing to use as a template. So let's get started. Okay, I've made a little backing plate on which to attach these. So this is the profile. So I've left an area here where I can come in at a different angle on the milling machine, which will become apparent later on. But first of all, we have to hold these on here. I'm going to stack them one on top of the other. Fix the template and start machining, filing, hacksawing, bandsawing, etc. So to hold all this together, I'm going to try a technique I've not tried before. I'm going to use this hot glue sheet. This is used by people who do wood veneer inlays. So let's get started setting that up. Okay, so initially we can actually bandsaw a lot of this material away. So for the moment I'm not going to attach it to the backing plate, but I'm going to use a backing plate as a weight just to keep that all in place. Add a bit extra weight. Okay, put it on a 3. Okay, it took about 10 minutes to warm up and about 30 minutes to cool down. I have actually had this apart, but just to show you, the plate started to slide, so I encapsulated them in some blocks. Had to straighten out quite a bit. Actually, they moved about 3mm from top to bottom. So anyway, that's what I had to do to keep that right, and it seems pretty well stuck. So I think what I'll do is I've got a number of holes to drill. I'll drill those and then put it in the bandsaw and take the excess material off. So when you're drilling this 316 stainless, you really got to keep the drill pressure on. You've got to make sure the drill doesn't dwell, because if it does, it can cause work hardening of the material, and if the material work hardens, that's the end of the game. You're not going to drill it after that. It gets hard, and the more you try to drill it, the harder it gets. So it's not looking too bad. Unfortunately, we do have a broken drill in this hole. It's my own fault. I should have withdrawn it a couple more times to clear the swarf. However, when I've just cleaned the back up with a file, you can see there that it's almost broken through. It's left a dimple on the underside, which when I've filed that flat, it's left this like witness circle. So I know it's almost through, so I don't think it'll be a problem. We'll sort it out once we take all these apart. So I'll just trim off a lot of the excess material on the bandsaw. So a slight change of plan. Before we finish cutting off the excess material in the bandsaw, I think we can go ahead and machine this forked end in the milling machine. Unfortunately, I've been a bit careless and I've allowed the cutter to dig in here, so that'll be a repair we'll have to do later on. Okay, I've finished cutting it on the bandsaw, so I'm just going to glue it to the backing plate to finish off the machining. I've drilled a couple of holes in to put some pins through these holes just to keep it in place while the glue softens and hardens. Stop it moving around. Probably didn't need to cut this out, but never mind. Okay. Put it on 3. Give it 10 minutes. Okay, it's been cooling down for a little while. I did add a bit of weight to it. Still a bit warm. So once it's in the middle, I'm just going to follow these lines. I'm just going to eyeball it. Adjusting the X and Y axis to get somewhere close, and then finish it off with a file on both, do it on both sides. Finish off this corner here. So hopefully the glue will hold it while we do that. I'm not going to go crazy, just light cuts. We're not trying to push it too hard, we're just trying to succeed. Okay, I've done a little bit along here, getting pretty close to the line. So we'll do this bit here. It's going pretty good. It's pretty close. I just think we'll do another run along there. I think we've got a bit of a... Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just a bit more from about there. Right, I think we'll leave it at that. Finish that off with a file. So I want to keep the stack of eccentric rods together for filing, but separate them from the base plate. So I'll have a go at that. Back onto 3. Okay, the glue seems fairly soft on the base. There it is, it's soft, so I'll just see if I can prise it off with this chisel. Yes, I'm abusing a wood chisel. Oh, there you go, that's great. Right. Oopsie daisy. That was easier than I expected. There's that broken drill. Hope we can get it out. Got about half of it out, but it's been a bit awkward. So fortunately it was nearly through, and I can see where it was nearly through. So I'm going to give that a bit of a punch. It's not been very cooperative. Right, you need something very pointy. Oh, there we go. Champion. Okay, that's them cleaned up. Still a bit more work to do to them, but at the moment I feel like I've had enough. And when you feel like you've had enough, it's best just to put things to one side and come back when your enthusiasm returns. Anyway, so the edges have got to be rounded off, This radius here needs to be smoothed out. It's got a bit of a bump in it, and the radius on the opposite side needs to be increased to match this one. This side seems to be pretty much okay, just a bit of cleaning up. There's a little bump there, just a little bit of titivating up. So there's one needs a repair. So unfortunately on this particular one I've actually accidentally dug in with a cutter. So I'm going to cut a semicircular piece of material, stainless steel, and silver soldered in there. So I might show that on a future video when I come to assemble all this stuff. I've also actually accidentally put a slight taper on the end of all four on this side, so I'll just file the other one to match. It'll make no difference at all. So this actually goes onto here. So your eccentric rod attaches to the eccentric strap. I'll be fixing this with 3 7/8 screws. Overall I'm quite happy with them. Once I've done a bit more filing and cleaning up, they'll look much better. But like I said, I'm just going to leave it for now and come back to it later.